I have an important announcement to make. The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL.
We can be dangerous. You compete and you play hard, and good things will happen in this league.
It's only one way to play this game: fast and physical. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, no!
Super Bowl. I've been chasing that since 2018.
Those Ravens on the hunt for the AFC's top seed. They come into the weekend tied with Miami for the best record, and John Harbaugh's team now with a gauntlet of a schedule to finish. But coming off of the bye, only Mike Tomlin has been better coming off byes over the last 15 years than John Harbaugh. And Sean McVay's got his team headed in the right direction. They've come out of nowhere to jump back into the playoff race. In the rain, off we go, and how about this? Devin Duvernay is going to bring it out from deep in the end zone, and he'll pay the price. Stopped at the 15-yard line. And so here come the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, who's in a new system this year. He's surrounded by more talent, making a push for a second MVP. And this is crazy right here, Darryl. This is his 20th start against an NFC team. He is 18-1.
I've gone back, I've watched Detroit, I've watched Seattle. I had to see what is Baltimore doing. I mean, they dismantled both of those teams from the NFC.
Punt team comes out, and we go to Carissa for a game break.
Thank you so much, Joe. Browns hosting the Jags today, and they take the opening kickoff 75 yards down the field. Joe Flacco finds a wide open David Njoku for a 34-yard score. Browns in front, 7-0. Joe?
And for once, the Ravens going to be cheering for the Browns. Well, the Rams started this season 3-3. 3 losses against 3 good teams, right? Bengals still at that point had Burrow. 49ers and Eagles best in class. But then they lose Kyren Williams. They lose 3 consecutive games. Figured out right before they get him back to start what has become a 3-game winning streak. And like we've talked about, he's been at the center of it. The running game, second in the NFL the last 2 weeks.
And you wonder why we've gotten away from it a little bit. You come out and you really lean on it and have that success, and just haven't been able to get back to that a little bit. We'll see what Sean McVay dials up on the next series. But Baltimore's got to get something going here on this drive.
Start. So 7-3 game, and Sean McVay, his team 3-game winning streak, but obviously this is going to be the biggest test, and through a quarter they look like they belong on the same field as the top team in the AFC.
We said at the top they were going to have to come out and play their best game of the season, better than they had played during that 3-game win streak. I love the opening possession where they went down the field with the running game. I don't know what happened once we got to the red zone and we went incomplete, but I love the way they've started. This has been a great response to the big explosive touchdown by the Baltimore Ravens.
Week 14 continues later today on Fox and CBS, followed by Sunday Night Football as the Eagles face the Cowboys on NBC. And Week 14 concludes with 2 games Monday night, Titans-Dolphins on ESPN and Packers-Giants on ABC. Then Week 15 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. Stream games live on your mobile device with NFL Plus.
Demarcus Robinson. We had a couple 5th-round picks. Rams drafted really well. As Williams in the 5th round last year. It was Puka Nacua as a 5th-round receiver this year.
Les Snead and his staff doing a great job there. You can see who he's up with around the NFL from the running back spot. Look at that one.
5 100-yard receiving games for Puka Nacua. The rest of the first-round receivers, or all the first-round receivers combined, have 1 touch. 5 minutes to go in this first half. Let's check in with Kurt.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Show, Rob Gronkowski is my best friend. Ha, ha. He is so smart. Hey, who's running the teleprompter up there?
This is so fun. Hey, does anyone know how to spell debonair? We'll see you at the half.
Wonder if he's got it dialed into Kurt's speed. That can get tricky. Got a teleprompter rolling too fast. Got to talk too fast. I'm Kurt Menefee. False start. Now, how about those Rams from 3-6 to 6-6? They're one of the 4 teams in the NFC vying for those last couple spots. They're sitting with a 6-6 record. Minnesota, Green Bay, Seattle, all at 6-6 as well. But a few weeks ago, whoever would have thought you'd even have the Rams on that graphic?
It's been impressive to watch them just kind of go through the process. You hear a lot of coaches and players talk about it, and you're like, oh boy, here comes the coach speak again. but it's true. They've had to go through this process to get to this point. They're playing with a ton of confidence right now. You see that here in the first half.
Clowney finishes them off, and before third down, a game break with Carissa.
Thank you so much, Joe. You guys were just looking at that NFC playoff picture. The Lions looking to improve to 10-3, but didn't have the start they wanted. Making a comeback here, Jared Goff hits Josh Reynolds. It's now 13-10 at the half. Joe?
And now 9 seconds to go. Harbaugh's team will kick it off, and we came into this game talking about the Ravens being one of the favorites in the AFC. Obviously still are. The Rams were like, okay, we're in contention. How good are we? Let's see. We're going to find out today. And they've looked at least as good as the Ravens through the first half.
Yeah, I think I might have come on air a little bit stronger than that, saying that this is a team that reminds me of San Francisco when they're playing their best. I don't know if anybody can beat them, and I've seen it several times during the course of the year. We're not seeing that here in the first half today, and the Rams have. We said they had to play their best game of the season. They've played well in the last 3 games that they've won, but they had to play better than that this afternoon if they were going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Baltimore has made it easier for them here in the first half, but the Rams have done a really nice job taking care of their business. And this is going to be critical, you know, in that second half. I can't wait to see the response by the Ravens coming out because I don't think anybody saw this at 2017 at halftime.
The Rams are going to have the ball to start the second half. We'll see what the rain situation is by then. I mean, it was pouring buckets before the game started and then eased up a little bit. It's going to rain harder, though, as this first half winds down. Matthew Stafford, even on this rainy day, has overcome a bit of a slow start, fine rhythm, get a couple touchdowns. And trying to keep this surge for the Rams going, trying to keep his own surge going. 9 touchdowns in his last now 2.5 games. And he's going to do it for this first half. Jackson and the Ravens trailing at home against the Rams. As we go to the break, Rams trying to get their 4th consecutive win. 30 minutes to decide this one after a half. Stay tuned for the Verizon halftime right after these messages. That was today's game flow presented by Progressive as we welcome it back here to Baltimore. The Rams trying to get their 4th consecutive win, have the lead. Top rushing offense in the NFL. The Ravens, they average 160 a game. They only had 37 in the first half, which is, I guess, what you would expect when they only ran it 8 times. That's totally different than you normally see from Baltimore.
Yeah, much more passing in the first half. And you wonder, it was funny because the weather was going to be an issue in the game today. It wasn't as bad in the first half as we anticipated. So is that why the Rams came out and really kind of established that run game to start? And then you're like, okay, it looks like it's going to be all right. What happens here in the second half when Baltimore may want to run or may need to run? Are you going to have that footing? How are you going to move people off the line of scrimmage with your double team blocks?
Lead, they won them all last 12, 6-6.
We touched on it right in the first half. The grit, the resiliency. You saw how easy that was at the beginning of Sean McVay's tenure with the Rams. To lead 43 times at halftime and to win all of them.
As Sean said, I was probably spoiled by all that happened those first few years, and the Super Bowl that came so quickly. The adversity of last season, he said, look, we can't just have that happen and not take anything from it. We got to be better from what we went through last year. There's an injured player on this special teams play. Is Arthur Millette, who's going to jog his way off. We go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, rain's picking up again, Joe. As you saw, we had a nice little break there in the first half. I asked Sean McVay how that might impact how he calls the game. He says we've just got to be flexible and wait and see. John Harbaugh, we talked about the game, and he said that it will possibly come down to how this weather holds up. Defensively, he doesn't feel that group is sharp at all.
No, it's a team that on the season averages 15 points per game allowed. They gave up 20 in the first half. 23. Now the Ravens' #1 rushing offense in the NFL this season. Only a handful of rushing yards in that first half. They've got the ball in the first drive of the second when you come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Macy's. Give love, give style.
Weather's going downhill, raining harder as the second half gets going. I mean, it's we're looking all week at the weather forecast like, ooh, that ain't pretty, and it has lived up to the billings, lived up to the forecast. Talking about Lamar Jackson getting to 5,000 yards, fastest quarterback ever to do it, and it's not even close. I mean, you look at some of these amazing running quarterbacks of past years, past generations, and through the first 6 years, I mean, he's got a 1,000+ yard lead and still a bunch of games to play this year. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award recognizes players who have exhibited excellence on the field and whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game. Nominees for these two teams: Cooper Kupp for the Rams, Roquan Smith for the Ravens. And Man of the Year is going to be announced at the NFL Honors on Thursday, February 8th. Kupp very involved around Los Angeles. Roquan Smith actually launched a foundation this year. Helps out in Baltimore, back home in his native Georgia. He said, look, if I was just a good football player, that'd be letting down all the people that helped me get here out of tiny Montezuma, Georgia. He said, it's my turn to give back to all the people that helped me get to this place. So the Rams back on offense. 10 minutes to go in this third quarter. Warm them up, man. He said, I'm cold in the coat. I got a hat guy.
Where are my people?
Wait for it. I got
couldn't even see the logo. My goodness.
Now the hunt for the top seed in the AFC. Ravens tied with the Dolphins, who they're going to face off with on New Year's Eve. Ravens will host the Dolphins. The Chiefs at 8-4. Pretty easy schedule for the Chiefs down the stretch. They only have one team with a record above 500 that they'll face over their final 4 games. The Jags, by the way, trailing the Browns 21-7. Folks around here know don't bet against Joe Flacco. 21-7 Cleveland ahead of Jacksonville. Who John Harbaugh's team will face next. This gauntlet of a schedule to finish. Jacksonville, San Francisco, Miami. And then the finisher against Pittsburgh not looking as hard lately. Still these next 3. 2 of the 3 teams are battling at the top of the AFC, plus the Niners. It was a big first half to this game for Puka Nacua. Had 3 catches, 55 yards. Adding to this fantastic rookie season. It's the holiday season. How often do you go into the store and you're like, wait a minute, I'm spending that much? It happens quickly. Those items add up, and it's added up in yards for him. Just the 6th rookie receiver to have more than 1,000 yards through his first 12 games, and it's quite a list that he's on. Now, when you factor in the fact that he was a 5th-round draft pick, the only other guy that's had 1,000 yards drafted outside the top 100 over the last 20 years was Marcus Colston back in 2006. We got a couple 5th-round draft picks, as we detailed earlier. Key in this offense, key in this resurgence. Time for a game break. Here's Carissa.
Thank you, Joe. Bears already up 6, and Justin Fields decides to take it in himself. Turns on the speed, takes it in for the score, missed the 2-point conversion, and now lead 25-13 over the Lions. Joe?
Yeah, that's the Lions team, Darryl, that was just absolutely cruising earlier, with the exception of getting rolled here. Not quite as good the last month.
No, even the win last week with the Saints. I mean, they're going up 21-0 in the first 7 minutes and holding on there to win that game.
When we talk Ravens, we talk about that nasty Baltimore defense. This defense is putting up points and knocking people out. And of course, this defense has the most sacks. I'm about that. Big trust. Woo woo.
Our very own Mark Ingram, former Baltimore Raven, and the defense in the second half has looked a lot more like the defense you saw all year coming in.
Absolutely. Pursuit of the football. We've highlighted a couple of great effort plays. I think Roquan Smith on that one right there kind of got everybody inspired. That was Kyle Van Noy to kick them out of field goal range. So woo-woo today as well, Mark Ingram.
And John Harbaugh's team is in front by a point with 11:17 to go. Doubleheader next Sunday on Fox. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs take on the Patriots. And then in America's Game of the Week, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys against Josh Allen and the Bills in Buffalo. Check for the games in your area. Next Sunday on Fox, you got the Cowboys rolling. You got the Bills trying to keep their season alive. 23-22 here in Baltimore. Ravens trying to get to 10-3. Back and forth this game has gone. We've seen 6 lead changes. Rams ahead of the Ravens 28-23, trying to get an upset win, continuing this playoff push. Well, man, there have been so many swings. This was a safety that put the Rams back in front. It was tied at 20 at that point. Put the Rams in front. Tucker put the Ravens back ahead with a field goal, but then the Rams marched down the field. Stafford, some great throws, diving catch from Nakua, and then a touchdown pass to the old Raven, DeMarcus Robinson, to get us to the score that we have here. Joe Davis, Daryl Johnston, Pam Oliver here in Baltimore.
We saw the Ravens use double moves in the first half to get some key plays, and the Rams used one at a real critical time right there.
43 seconds, 44. They had a second back there. One timeout, so plenty of time for the Rams. Remember, though, I mean, they obviously want a touchdown to take the lead, but then consider the kicker situation. Yeah. They really want a touchdown.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty going on with Lucas Havrisik. You bring in Mason Crosby this week as a guy you're going to have in your back pocket in case you get into a situation like this. Playoff positioning on the line. Let's get a veteran kicker who's been there, done that, made game-winning kicks. They make the decision to go with Lucas Havrisik today. He's got a 51-yarder this afternoon.
Well, the rain and the mud makes for good TV. So does overtime in the NFL. Rams and Ravens tied at 31, and the Ravens will get the ball first. Tylan Wallace is the backup punt returner. He's only in there because Devin Duvernay is hurt. He wins the game in overtime for the Ravens, who are now 10-3.
Just a great job getting north and south. He made one great cut, and then there was an opportunity on the sideline for a couple of Rams players to get him out of bounds. Once he cleared those two, there was really nobody else there. You'll see right as he gets inside on that move there, it's really your long snapper, Alex Ward, that had the best shot at him. And once he got by that, he had the whole sideline all the way down to the end zone.
It's a second walk-off punt return touchdown in overtime this year. Remember, the Jets week 1 against the Bills did it. And the Ravens do it right here. Tylan Wallace, who's an All-American receiver at Oklahoma State, hasn't done a whole lot since getting to the NFL in terms of receiving, but